Hello everyone, my name is Nikki, and if you're a regular viewer of the TVI channel, you will know me as Mrs. TVI. I don't have a car, but I do have a GoPro and an interest in history, architecture, but more specifically, cemeteries. It's time to see where I am and what I'm getting up to in my corner of the TVI channel today. Hello everyone, Mrs. TVI here, and today I am back out with the GoPro. And we are in an absolutely fantastic looking place which I cannot wait to go and explore. I have two companions, one of which is Lauren. Say hi Lauren, who doesn't mind being on camera, and the other one is the camera shy Hannah. But today we are in the cemetery in Barton upon Humber. Okay, so I've had a quick look at the map of this cemetery, and there's a huge cemetery to explore. I'm just going to give a pan round so you can see what I can see, but I'm actually coming up on the mortuary chapels, so that'll be the first thing. But let's just go around. Let's go nice and steady. So you've got a field there, got the mortuary chapels that are behind sort of here, and then as we go around there is a huge expanse of cemetery. There's some interesting graves and memorials and things here, so we're going to have a close look at some of them. Let's just take in this one while we're actually stood next to it. So here rest the mortal remains of Mrs. Frances May, who departed this life April 22nd 1874, and then there's a Bible verse I believe on there. So yeah, you know, we've got a lot of very old stuff in this place. Just going to turn back around. Lots of old stuff in this place, old memorials, and there's also some newer memorials as well. This cemetery was one that has undergone expansion, although I've not been able to find a lot of information online. I have found some, and what I can do is link what I did find in the description box below, or should I say, I'll give the links to Andy and he'll pop them in the description box below. Let's go look at the mortuary chapels. So here are the mortuary chapels. Twin chapels, one Anglican, one Dissenter. As you can see though, they are clearly not in use now. The windows are pretty much boarded up, and I don't know if you can see just along the top, the ironwork at the top is sort of disintegrating. There is a stone above, sort of just about here. It says 1867, so we can date these chapels with some accuracy. And then if you look at the roof, this is quite interesting. I find it interesting anyway. You might not, but certainly I do. Look at the roof, there are two different shades and shapes of tiling. So we've got like a sort of a pinkish colour and a greenish colour, which is quite pretty. So let's just have a quick walk around. Just the left hand side one. So here is the entrance. Not a large door. And then follow the path. We can go all the way around them. Oop. Well, you know, should be watching out on when I'm walking in these cemeteries. It does tend to be a bit slippery. Again, you can see, oh, the pigeon just come out the window. So these are obviously now massive pigeon coops, which is a great shame. It'd be nice to see some of these actually in use for their intended purpose, even just as like a prayer room opened within the cemetery so people can go in. Let's have a look at the doors on this one. Yeah, and that one's the same, nice big sort of a blue door. but then you've got a window there that's completely blanked off, and then one there where you can still see the leading, or it's not leading, is it? It's like a mesh and glass, looks like fiberglass covering over the top of it. Yeah, let's go and have a look and see what else we can find. Oh, just look at here, couple of little heads. Let's go see what else we can find. Okay, so there is a recent section here, and as is my custom, I'm not showing what's on these graves, but then it's literally right sort of bang next to some much older interments like this one here. I just had a look at this, and this lady, Mary Elizabeth Graves, née Aikett, widow of the late Joseph Graves of Hessel, who died August 9th, 1922, aged 84. And that is literally amongst the newer graves. So this cemetery is using and backfilling spaces where the spaces exist, which is really good. They're not wasting we're not wasting a single part of the grounds here. Let's keep going. So just sort of heading towards the back of the cemetery, we can hear a lot of wildlife, we can hear lots of birds and things, and it is a bit of a wildlife haven in this cemetery, I have to say. But then if you look over the cemetery wall, there's a new development of houses there, and it looks as though they're breaking ground here, and we'll have some more houses, so this cemetery will get more views, as it were. So on the back wall there, you'll see a lot of headstones that are standing up in line, obviously being placed there. Now whether those are from in between the other gravestones in the older part of the cemetery, the ones that have fallen down, who knows, but they're here amongst this area along the back here looks to be a cremation interment area, and then we've got some more full burials in front of us here. Again, because I'm in the newer section, I'm not going terribly close to these graves out of respect, but you can see obviously that the old and new has been mixed in here quite a lot. So I don't know if you can read this sign and pick out what it says, but it says, "This garden of remembrance has been made with the dedication and thoughts of Operation Lifestylers 2001. And what we've got here in the middle of the cemetery is an area, grassed area, with some benches and a bird bath that's literally in the middle of the cemetery. It's just, got this box hedging all the way around it as a garden of remembrance. That's quite nice. So I've got this memorial here. It's almost like a little patio in the middle of the cemetery, and it looks like it's for Iris, who died 2003, but then William prior to her, who died in 63. So that's quite interesting. It's almost like a little patio, isn't it? Okay, so my hair is just terrible, I need it cutting again. I'm just now heading up towards the War Memorial. I'm going to have a look at that because I haven't seen any Commonwealth war graves in this cemetery yet, and I just wonder if there are any, or if they are, the people are actually just mentioned on the War Memorial and buried elsewhere. And then I'm going to have a look around the very older part of this cemetery as well, and see what else that we can find. Okay, so here is the War Memorial. It actually stands just outside the cemetery gate. There's lots of names on here for members of the army, and as we go around, there are more army members. And then on this section here, it's the commendation plaque that says it's for the men who gave their life for King and Country in the Great War on there. And then on this side you have some mentions from people from the Navy as well as more from the Army. And there's nothing here yet. It is, today's the 12th of November, so the Armistice Day was yesterday, but it's usually at these sort of cenotaphs they do have remembrance on a Sunday. So I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow this is covered in poppies. We've got a little yarn bomb here of some poppies, but it wouldn't surprise me if come tomorrow that all of this is full. Let's go back in and have a look around some more of this lovely cemetery. Yes, I found one. So this looks like a pretty new stone actually. It's white marble stone, and it's Egypt, says at the top, Egypt, Lincolnshire, and then Corporal H.J. Justice, Labour Corps and Lincolnshire Regiment, 10th of May 2018. Sorry, 1918. Oh dear, I really need to learn to read. And then there has been a little poppy left on a painted rock. And when you find one, you find another. This one is the Royal Sussex Regiment, Private J.A. Brown, passed away 29th of April 1919 at the age of 40. Another lovely painted rock. Just have a look actually underneath. No, doesn't tell you where it's from, but I've seen a few of these around now, especially on Commonwealth War graves. I think they're lovely. So just come to have a look at this Victorian, looks Victorian, obelisk monument, and we can see here it says also in memory of, so there's going to be somebody else dedicated on the other side. Sarah Taylor of Baysgarth Park, Barton upon Humber, widow of Robert Taylor, born February 3rd 1819, died April 14th 1900. And let's go have a quick look around the other side. Oh. Yeah, and that's for Robert. So just going a bit closer. Robert Taylor of Newhall, Barton upon Humber, formerly of Stanbury, near Haworth, in the West Riding of the County of York, born February 3rd 1815, died July 17th 1882, aged 67. And then I don't know if you can see there, it looks like a family crest on there, and then obviously it goes, it's quite high, this one, it must be about 12 feet, it's huge. Let's go and have a look at the one with the reef on top. The ground is very wobbly here. So this one, again, is another very Victorian one. In affectionate remembrance of William Batty, New Holland, who departed this life August 30th 1876, aged just 30. Death, little warning to me, gave and quickly sent me to the grave. Make haste to Christ, make no delay, for no one knows his dying day. Okay, let's move on, see what else we can find. Okay, so there's one thing I've not located in the cemetery as yet, although I could still come across it. I may have walked past it because I'm blind as a bat. And that's the Fred Hopper Memorial. Now, Fred Hopper was quite big in the world of cycling, and he put Barton on Humber really on the map with his cycling works and efforts, and he is apparently commemorated somewhere in the cemetery, but as I said, I've not been able to find him just yet. Okay, so these have just caught my eye, and these look to be a couple of sandstone headstones, gravestones, and it looks to be from the for the Dawson family. It looks like a family plot, but this one is so degraded you cannot read anything. I can see the name William and Mary on it, but that is all. This one is a little clearer, but again not so clear that you can actually read it without issue. And then at the back here, it looks like we've got another trio here, a family plot. It looks like the Holt family. Now the middle one is George William Holt, formerly vicar of this parish. And then you've got Julie, who was the widow of the late George there. And then on the other side, I don't know if you can hear the kids bickering in the background, by the way. This one is Sarah Holt, and the date on that one is 1868 to 1891, 1912. So 3 members of the same family. Okay, so Hannah's just pointed this one out to me and asked if I could pop over and take a look at this. So this is a burial vault. There's a grave right next to it, so I'm trying to walk between. On this side it says, in affectionate remembrance of Sarah Hewson, wife of William, who died 24th of January 1879, aged 83. So that would make her year of birth somewhere in the late 1700s. And then as we go around the other side, don't worry Hannah, I'm not going to catch you on the camera. So the other side commemorates William, who died 31st of October 1873, aged 76. And I wonder if, because of the size of this vault, how important were this couple. And then around them we've got some more stand-up graves, and some of them again, like this one here, degraded, cannot read it. I can see it says William Doughty at the top, but I can't see anything else. But this one here, much clearer, and again 1888 is the date on that. So if this one was put up at about the same time as this one, then shame on the mason for that one, because it's all disintegrated. They definitely used the wrong bit of stone. Let's go and have a look at the one at the back there as well, because there's a plot at the back of that one. And again, difficult to read, but a plot. Now, I don't think we're going to be able to read literally any of that. What a shame. So it looks like this one has had a bit of a clear. Looks like it had some ivy growing up on it. This one is like a... there must have been an obelisk on top that's toppled. Thomas Tumbleson, 1801 to 1875 is the main sort of one on this. But yeah, it looks like it's had a bit of sort of a digging out of from being in the undergrowth, which is good. And there's Elizabeth, and there's another one on the other side. Let's just have a quick look at that. Another Elizabeth, so 2 Elizabeths and 1 Thomas. And then here we've got another one which obviously had this cross on the top of it, and the cross has sadly come down, deteriorated in time. And as the early morning sun comes in behind us, we can just see there in the distance the Humber Bridge. We're going to be walking that baby in a bit. Oh my goodness, we better get ourselves ready, girls. Get ourselves ready to walk that bridge. Okay, so we've just come into Barton, and I've come down to St. Peter's Church, and this is the church that used to feed into that, feeding the burials into that graveyard that we've just been to. So We can't get into the church. The church is currently locked. It's still quite early. It's an English heritage maintained church, so I'm just going to show it to you. So there is the church, and as you can see, it's a lovely looking church. Looks very Norman. Okay, and then here on this side we can see what the interior of the church looks like, the nave and the chancel. And it looks as though it's been turned into sort of some kind of museum now, because it is, you know, a chargeable for access. And then across the other side there we have a churchyard cemetery there, quite old. The headstones are looking very green, but let's just take a quick peek at this one, because we've got a reverend here, the Reverend James Knight, for 36 years. Perpetual curator of St Paul's Church, Sheffield. I think it says Sheffield. He died at Barton upon Humber, August 30th, 1863, aged 70. And obviously this one is in a prime spot here, right by this beautiful church. And here we have some more of the graves and tombstones of this church. Very eerie looking, covered in moss and lichen and ivy leaves. And here, as you can see, is another view of the church. It's a very, very long church. It looks like it's had some later extensions on it, but how lovely is that? Let's go explore the churchyard. So there's an obelisk here, not a very big one, only about 4 foot tall. And the plaque reads, Robert James Bedford, 18 years manager of the bank in this place. Died August 26, 1878 in his 61st year. Dearly loved and lamented. The memory of the just is blessed. Okay, so with this one, definitely it's a case of inquiring minds want to know. Mary, I think it's Bell or Belland or something like that. But look at the big massive hole through the middle of the headstone there. Has it just worn away? Has it purposely been knocked out? Who knows? Never seen anything like that before. Seen headstones with intentional holes, but that one doesn't look intentional at all. And just lastly, before we leave the churchyard of St Peter's, we've got a grave that is literally surrounded by ironworks, although it's disintegrated quite badly. And we all know what ironworks around a gravestone mean. The occupant was very afraid of grave robbers. This one has a tree growing out of it, quite a mature tree. At the foot of the grave there, and that's obviously what's taken away some of that ironwork. As you can see here, it's literally grown into the tree. But that's it from me, unless I get to St Mary's, which I doubt. But yeah, that's it for this video, and from me, from Lauren, and from the camera shy back of Hannah, I will see you on the next Mrs TVI episode. And who knows, might not be in a cemetery for that one. We'll have to wait and see. Bye for now, everyone.